Good evening, Kenyans. This is 9 p.m. right here on the Daily Report. Now, the situation in Goma, DRC, is quite sad and will be our focus tonight. Millions of people there are crying for justice and are crying for help. Tonight, we're going to be joined by Maina Kingori. He is the regional humanitarian director, I should say, for CARE, which would basically be telling us how the situation in that particular country is. Also later on Marketplace, we take a look at Forex trading in Kenya. People call it a scam, but really is it? All that, but first to the highlights. Tonight, ex-President Uhuru Kenyatta urges African nations to stop complaining and pursue financial independence to reduce the reliance on foreign aid.
Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country.
Also tonight, the Ministry of Health maintains that HIV kits and ARV drugs are in stock despite the US withdrawal from WHO.
I want to assure Kenyans that we have sufficient stocks of HIV commodities, be it antiretrovirals, be it the testing commodities.
Plus, Sarah Wairimu Cohen charged afresh for the murder of her husband, the late Tob Cohen. She pleads not guilty. And High Court once again postpones the plea taking of 12 police officers charged in connection with the 2017 murder of baby Pendo in Kisumu. Good evening once more. Ruto Nyama is the sign language interpreter tonight. I'm used to Stanley Nyaringita. You can always continue following us on our social media platforms and engaging with us. Now, Kenya's former president Uhuru Kenyatta has urged African nations to establish sustainable healthcare systems rather than relying on foreign aid. He spoke on the second day of the East Africa Region Global Health Security Summit, where stakeholders gathered to strategize on tackling challenges within the healthcare sector in the entire region. Quinto Wafula begins our bulletin tonight.
On the second day of the East Africa Region Global Health Security Summit, stakeholders gathered to strategize on tackling challenges within the healthcare sector in the entire region.
From the COVID-19 pandemic, which has emphasized the need for preparedness, innovations, and regional collaborations.
To have everyone put their shoulders to the wheel to make sure that we improve our capabilities in responding to emergencies on the continent.
Kenyatta, who was a keynote speaker, challenged African nations to stop lamenting over United States' plan to cut health aid, arguing that the priority should be for these countries to manage their own resources effectively. He emphasized that Africa has the capacity to sustain itself without depending on external assistance.
I saw some people the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. We have to begin to reprioritize what is important for us as Africans on the continent and where should our resources go.
Moreover, he urged conflict-stricken nations to seek peaceful resolutions and invest in development projects such as healthcare rather than purchasing weapons that ultimately harm taxpayers, the very people meant to benefit from government resources.
And we have actually spent more buying those bullets to kill ourselves than we have actually spent on protecting our health.
Ministers, please come.
Quinto Wafula, TV47, Mombasa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Quinto. Now, the High Court has today yet again postponed the plea taking of 12 police officers charged in connection with the 2017 murder of baby Samantha Pendo in Kisumu. That particular, for the fifth time, after the prosecution said it was not ready to proceed. Samira Mohammed has more.
The High Court once again has deferred the plea taking for the 12 senior police officers charged with the murder in the death of baby Samantha Pendo during the 2017 post-election violence in Kisumu's Nyalenda slum.
Today, the 29th, in fact it was meant to be last week, on the 15th of January, she said the plea must be taken come rain, come shine. Rain didn't come, shine came. And today, it's raining. This plea has to be taken because it has rained, it has shined.
Deferral came after the Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Igonga, sought a further 45-day delay in the prosecution of the officers, citing the need for additional time to review the investigations file and locate the missing retired police officer, Mohammed Ba.
My lady, since we are convened under the Rome Statute, Article 61 of the Rome Statute requires that the suspect be present in court.
Tomorrow, Lady Justice Margaret Moigai will rule on whether the plea taking of the 12 senior police officers linked to the murder of baby Samantha Pendo and 39 protesters in Kisumu will take place.
About the submissions you have made, I would request therefore humbly that you allow me to retire, go through what the able submissions that have been made by all teams, and the file again if I missed out anything, and then tomorrow in the afternoon at about 3, I think I'll be able to deliver what I think would be the directions to the matter.
These, as the Law Society of Kenya and a section of human rights groups, have strongly condemned the application made by the Director of Public Prosecution to adjourn the hearing for the 5th time, calling a plan to deny justice to the victims.
They have had that charge now for more than 5 years. They have not acted on it. Now they're asking the court to give them more time. All this is a delaying tactic to deny the people of Kisumu, those who suffered from the atrocities committed in 2017 and 2018, the opportunity to face their tormentors or those who had responsibility of the units that committed their torments.
The 12 officers are facing 47 counts of crimes against humanity, including murder, torture and rape committed in Kisumu during the 2017 post-election violence.
Those who investigated these atrocities in Kisumu, which include atrocities such as rape, murder, forceful deportation of persons, were done by an independent office. This is IPOA.
Samira Mohammed for TV47, Nairobi.
Right, and still on the corridors of justice, Sarah Wairimu Kamoto, the former Mrs. Cohen, has pleaded not guilty to the murder of her late husband, Tob Cohen. On Friday, Wairimu was detained at the Langata Women's Prison, awaiting the court's decision on whether she will be subjected to a mental assessment before pleading to murder charges of her former husband, Dutch tycoon, Tob Cohen. Sarah Wairimu was arraigned at the Kibera Law Courts Wednesday before Judge Dana Kavenza denied on the night of 19th and 20th of July 2019 at Lower Kabete area within Nairobi County. Alongside her fellow accused, she murdered Tob Cohen. She was rearrested on the January of 23rd and now faces fresh murder charges following a review of new evidence by the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Renson Igonga. So the court is set to reconvene on the 3rd of February, which is next week, for her bail hearing.
I prayed for a date, what time and location when we can come and argue that affidavit before this court. Monday is not for murder, it's for appeals, but then you must come when I'm done with the appeals course list. So I will hear you on Monday next week at 11. Okay? Yeah, here. On 3rd of February.
Right, let's switch gears to health matters now. The Ministry of Health is assuring the public that there are sufficient stock of HIV commodities, including ARVs and testing commodities. The ministry maintains that it is committed to sustaining HIV, AIDS, treatment and prevention programs. Despite the announcement of the withdrawal of the USA from the World Health Organization, as well as the freezing of global health and aid, including the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, stated by former US President, that is George Bush Jr.
The Ministry of Health, through Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth, is assuring the over 1.3 million Kenyans living with HIV that there are sufficient stocks of HIV commodities in the country, despite recent reports of massive shortages and the reaction of major policy changes in health funding policy by the U.S. government. Additionally, the ministry says it has strengthened the supply chain pipeline to ensure continuous availability.
I want to assure Kenyans that we have sufficient stocks of HIV commodities, be it antiretrovirals, be it the testing commodities. We have strengthened our supply chain pipeline in the last 1-2 years to ensure that at any given time we have more than 6 months of stock.
The ministry says that 1.2 million of Kenyans living with HIV have achieved viral suppression. However, many fear that the fight against HIV has now received a major blow following the decision by the USA to halt funding for global health. This new development now poses a potential disruption to HIV treatment to hundreds of thousands living with the condition, as well as increased drug resistance and a possible rise in mother-to-child transmission, which has since been brought down from 15% 10 years ago to the current 7.1%.
We are lagging behind in terms of viral suppression slightly. We are at 94% against a global target of 95%. And one of the biggest contributors to our failure to achieve the 95% in viral suppression is in regards to elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV.
All Kenyans living with HIV have been urged to turn up for treatment without fear or delay.
I want to appeal again to all members of the community, family members, to ensure that those who are on treatment go to the facilities to be able to receive their medications, because we have the medicines and the healthcare workers to be able to provide that service.
To address the funding gap, the government is focused on strengthening local capacity. Additionally, investments are being made in local pharmaceutical manufacturing to reduce dependency on external sources and enhance the resilience of the country's supply chains.
Right, now to a news item that will form the basis of our conversation later on. It is now emerging that Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi will not attend an extraordinary summit of the East African Community, EAC, convened by EAC Chair President William Ruto on the security crisis in Goma in the eastern North Kivu province. This even as the situation in Goma continues to escalate, much to the chagrin of Africans across the continent and the United Nations. George Maringa paints this picture for us.
Peace in eastern DRC, a seemingly elusive dream, one that continues to defy the hopes of millions of residents of an area that has been a hotbed for calamity for decades. Just 3 years ago, they were facing another calamity after the eruption of Mount Nyiragongo, not to mention years of tension caused by numerous bloody clashes by a combination of well-armed rebel groups and ragtag militias. Once again, they have been left homeless thanks to the resurgence and advance of the M23 rebels, or M23 as the locals call them. So much so that the United Nations is now calling for ceasefire.
For its part, our colleagues at the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs tell us that the humanitarian situation in and around Goma remain worrying. Hospitals in Goma continue to be overwhelmed, struggling to manage the influx of wounded people.
President William Ruto had called for an EAC emergency meeting on the DR Congo crisis. Reports, however, indicate that DRC President Felix Tshisekedi will miss the said meeting, at least going by a deputy director in the communications unit of the president's office, Giscard Kusema, who said, and I quote, President Felix Tshisekedi is closely monitoring developments in the east of the country. However, he has no plans to attend the meeting convened by President William Ruto. President Ruto, the EAC chairperson, convened an emergency summit on 29th January to address the escalating crisis in eastern DR Congo's key city of Goma. Ruto said that he had spoken with both Tshisekedi and Rwandan President Paul Kagame to defuse the situation. Rwanda has been blamed for escalating conflict in Goma over its alleged support of the March 23 movement rebels. The UN Security Council met for the second time in 3 days on Tuesday over the escalating crisis in the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, with UN agencies and partners on the ground reporting chaos in the streets of the regional capital Goma amid rising deaths and displacement as the M23 armed group takes over towns and villages.
Currently, as far as we know, the M23 forces control the airport, and there are real risks of breakdown of law and order in the city given the proliferation of weapons. The mission has also been seen credible reports of prisoners who've escaped from the prison in Goma, as well as looting by civilians. Non-essential UN personnel have been temporarily relocated from Goma and the surrounding area. The movement of essential supplies and personnel is obviously an urgent concern. Armed clashes continue in multiple regions, including in Masisi and Rutshuru and Nyiragongo.
The recent clashes have led to massive displacement, with over 178,000 people fleeing the Kalehe territory after the M23 took control of the area of Minova. More than 34,000 of those on the run have sought refuge in already overcrowded IDP sites in and around Goma, exacerbating the humanitarian crisis and overwhelming the city's infrastructure. George Maringa, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, George, for that. Two interesting details that you need to know about this particular bit, because we'll be discussing it later on with Maina Kingori. He is the Regional Humanitarian Director at CARE. Two interesting bits. So first off, we do expect that particular press statement by DRC President Felix Tshisekedi. This would be his first public statement since M23, or as they call it there, M23, advanced in Goma. Also, according to the Rwanda's ambassador at large for the Great Lakes region, that is Vincent Karega, the M23 is expected to be advancing into the neighboring South Kivu province. So we'll be discussing this among other details in Goma, DRC. Send in your questions as well as your comments. We'll be sampling them as we continue. In all, National Assembly leaders led by Speaker Moses Wetangula has expressed fears that the boundary delimitation process may be the biggest challenge culminating from the delayed constitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. The Speaker is concerned that it may be impossible to create additional constituencies. Meanwhile, Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni wants an overhaul of the IEBC Secretariat, which he says is too pro-government. Our reporter Elizabeth Mutuku reports.
You can imagine the deprivation.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and the National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah have expressed fears that the boundaries delimitation process may be the biggest casualty of the delayed reconstitution of IEBC, the two emphasizing that the delay has hindered the timely conducting of by-elections in various constituencies and wards. The two claim it may be impossible to create additional constituencies before the 2027 polls.
As they recruit the commissioners for IEBC, we do hope that the new commission will work fast to ensure that all the by-elections that have been pending are carried on and we have a full house.
Wetangula argues that a possible demographic-based adjustments could allow the IEBC to redraw boundaries by redistributing populations within existing constituencies, as he urged members of parliament to support the IEBC in carrying out this task once the new commissioners are in office. However, the Jubilee Party has poked holes on the new selection panel. The former ruling party says majority are pro-government. The party is now demanding a total overhaul of the IEBC Secretariat chaired by Hussein Marjan.
The old team is already working on issues of IEBC from State House. And they have started procuring even before commissioners get into office. Kwa wale ambao pengine wamesahau, tulikuwa tunataka commissioners wa IEBC na commissioners wakipatikana, we wanted an overhaul of the secretariat. We want the whole secretariat overhauled because the rigging that took place 2022 was not done by the commissioners themselves.
President William Ruto appointed Kio Melinda Gaki, Olo Adams, James Evans Misati, Nicodemus Kipchirchir Bore, Ambassador Kokimuli, Grigon Caroline Kituku, Tanui Andrew Kipkoech, Nelson Makanda, and Fatuma Samana to be members of the panel. In the notice, President William Ruto also revoked the earlier notice of selection panel that was gazetted in the year 2023. The 9 were sworn into the office at the Supreme Court building on Monday this week. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Some days politics now, and President William Ruto's allies, led by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, have charged at former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for his remarks, threatening to mobilize the opposition and make Ruto a one-term president. Kindiki, who met a delegation from his Tharaka Nithi backyard at his official Karen residence, told off Gachagua on his threats, terming them as cheap politics. Apollo Kumar reports on a day President William Ruto's allies from the Mount Kenya trained their guns on his former deputy.
President William Ruto's allies from the Mount Kenya region, led by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, trained their guns on former DP Rigathi Gachagua, with DP Kindiki laughing off threats by his predecessor to make Ruto a one-term president.
We shall make whatever sacrifices necessary to make sure that William Ruto is a one-term president.
Usitutishe ati rais a one-term president. And pia watu wengine wanatutisha huko jana. Ati our job is to make sure William Ruto is a one-term president. That is your objective. Hiyo tu. Just that. And you will have achieved a lot. President Ruto is lucky to be among the 5 Kenyans who have occupied the seat of President of Kenya.
Kindiki, who hosted a delegation of leaders from his Tharaka Nithi County backyard at his official residence in Karen, threw jabs at his predecessor, with leaders in the delegation questioning Gachagua's track record.
We are ready for you. Na tutawajibu sana sahi, tutakutana huko mbele. Because all these characters, hakuna mtu hajakuwa kiongozi. Si Kalonzo Musyoka alikuwa vice president. Si ni kama mimi. Yeye alikuwa 5 years under Kibaki. So akifika pale Tharaka Nithi, the people will ask him, when you were vice president, can you give us one project hapa ile ulitusukumia?
I challenge any Kenyan. Give me a speech of 2 minutes of Rigathi Gachagua speaking about the development agenda and government policies about the Mount Kenya region people.
Na mimi nitauliza, mumemuona hata siku moja kwa projects ya maendeleo Tharaka Nithi?
Kindiki is expected to tour Nyeri and Embu counties soon in what is likely to set the stage for a Herculean task of winning back the Mount Kenya region that has seemingly shifted loyalty to Gachagua and counter Gachagua's anti-government narrative, exposing the government's failings.
William Ruto's objective is not to serve for 2 terms. It is to use the time that God will give him in office to bring transformative programs in 1, 2, 3 areas and then leave.
During the opening of DAP Kenya offices in Nairobi, Gachagua shocked the nation by alleging State House is the epicenter of corruption, while exposing the affordable housing program as a corrupt venture meant to benefit a Finn government, a statement that did not sit well with Land CS Alice Wahome, who wants Gachagua to produce evidence to back up his sensational claims.
For somebody at the level of my deputy president, former deputy president, to tell Kenyans that there is somewhere my ministry is sitting behind the scenes and making some illegal contracts, I would want him to tell the ESCC where is that.
Apul Kamau, TV47.
Let's focus on education matters now. The Kenya National Examinations Council is facing a legal challenge regarding its plan to conduct the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations every July. The petitioner, Dr. Magare Gikenyi, argues that the July examination violates students' rights and did not get through public participation. And as our lead education reporter, Andrin Kilemi, now reports, the Ministry of Education has defended the move, stating that the July exam intends to help students address challenges encountered in previous years.
The plan by Kenya National Examination Council to offer a second-last chance for KCSE candidates has faced a setback. This after a petition was filed at the Kisii High Court seeking to halt the July examination. In his petition, Dr. Magare Gikenyi Benjamin asked the court to annul the July exam, claiming that the public was not consulted in the decision-making process and that students were not allowed to choose between sitting for the exam in July or November, as has traditionally been the case. This even as the Ministry of Education defended its stance, clarifying that the purpose of the July exam is not for students to repeat their studies, but to help them address deficiencies identified in the initial examination.
The reason why we introduced the July exam is so that it supports the students who have not made it in the November exams of the previous year, so that they are able to get results and hopefully have their grades raised sufficiently for them to join tertiary institutions, including universities, in the same year in September. The July exam is not for people to go back to school and study afresh. It's for them to be able to deal with the gaps that they got when they were doing the exams.
The July exam is scheduled to take place every year until 2027, providing an opportunity for students who failed or missed previous exams due to illness or other unavoidable circumstances. NEC launched an online registration system which began on Monday and will run until February the 21st. Students are expected to pay a registration fee of 7,200 shillings via the e-Citizen platform. Whether the KCSE July series exam will proceed as scheduled remains uncertain. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
Right, thank you for that. Meanwhile, drama ensued today when more than 3,000 members of Larry Nyakinyua Limited from Kiambu County clashed with police who were intent on barring them from accessing a contentious 8,000-acre parcel of land in Oljurai, Gilgil, Nakuru County. The members intended to hold the annual general meeting inside the property, but their efforts were thwarted by police following a tip-off revealing a violent ambush planned to trigger clashes between the Larry Nyakinyua group and the current settlers and squatters in the expansive estate. Chichi Josephine with the details.
More than 300 members of Larry Nyakinyua Limited from Kiambu County had planned to have their AGM at the contentious 800-acre Oljurai Ranch in Gilgil, Nakuru County. However, this was not to be. After initially giving the group the green light to hold the event in the ranch, Regional Police rescinded their approval for the event and asked the group to drop their plans.
Tukiwauliza ni nini wanatuzuia kwenda kwa shamba, wanatuambia hakuna ulizi. Tunashindwa ni akina nani wao kwa shamba, na shamba ni letu, tuko na title deed.
Hizi security kwenda kuongea nao, wanatuambia gojeni. Saa hizi ndio wanaanza kutuambia huko hakuna security. Tukawauliza kwa nini nyinyi sio security?
The members who are not happy with this development accused the police of bias against Nyakinyua group, despite apparently having the legal documents of ownership of the land.
Na tumechukua gari, tumekuja hapa, tumefika saa 3:30, tukakuta askari. Kwa hivyo ni serikali imekuja kutusuia kwenda kuona shamba yetu. Sababu walituambia hawajui kuna mkutano na hawataki tuteremuke huko kuna vita.
Tumepata askari jeshi hapa na walikuwa wengi na wametuambia kuna watu wametugoja hapo na wakatwambia hatutaenda.
It appears that a large number of members defied the directive from the police to desist from accessing the land for security reasons and proceeded to attempt to evade police roadblocks to access the venue.
Bado tuko hapa Gilgil na watu walikuwa willing sana kwenda kwa shamba. Hata saizi bado tuko hapa, tunaomba vile tunaweza fika kwa shamba.
Yule ulizi tulikuwa nataka ni kutulinda tukiwa kwa shamba, lakini sio tukiwa hapa Gilgil. Na hata hapa Gilgil sio ulizi tuko naye ni wa kutuzuia wale tuko nao.
Rift Valley Regional Police Commander Jasper Ombate states that his officers were seeking to avoid what promised to be a violent confrontation between the Nyakinywa group and settlers.
We received credible intelligence yesterday that those living on the land currently had started mobilizing to resist any meeting of the Lari Nyakinywa. And we subjected this to physical verification also.
In the wake of the confrontation, squatters and settlers of the Oljerai Ranch believe that a Shadway group is attempting to destroy the peaceful coexistence between the settlers and the squatters in order to grab the property. All groups in the matter are calling on the state to urgently intervene in the highly contentious matter, which has so far eluded all attempts at resolving it. Chichi, Josephine, TV47.
Right, hour. This is the Daily Report. Roda Nyamai, the sign language interpreter, as well as Stanley Nyaringita, which is me, are taking a short break. When we come back, more conversations, including the invasion of Goma by the M23 rebels, as well as into the marketplace. Have you ever tried Forex trading? If not, worry not, we're giving you a masterclass of the same. Don't go too far.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwa watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Right, welcome back. This is the Daily Report. I'm usually Stanley Nyaringita. On the Sign Language interpretation is Rhoda Nyamai. As promised, this particular evening, we give much focus on what is happening at the DRC, particularly in Goma and other cities around it. Why? Because M23 in recent days has invaded into this particular city, affecting quite a number of people. Something that has seen displacement of quite a number of people, and we're going to be just touching on the humanitarian aspect of it. How is this affecting these people living in Goma? And the right mind for this conversation. Joining us tonight all the way from Kigali in Rwanda is Maina Kingori. He is the Regional Humanitarian Director at CARE. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I hope...
Thank you for having me.
Right. I hope Kigali, as they call it, Kigali, is definitely fine. Could you give us an overview of the latest events that have happened today in Goma?
Events in Goma have been shaped over a year. A huge intensification of the conflict in Northern Kivu is the east part of the Democratic Republic is a very big, massive country. For the last 1 year, conflicts have really intensified in the parts of the country. The last 6 months have seen very by one of armed tribe that has led to conflict of all city Goma. In the process, I have application for civilian living in Goma, but also for internally people living in parts of Goma. The Democratic Republic of Congo is the country the highest notice only second in South Sudan. What we know about 7 million that have a hope is by conflict. Thousands of those have left homes. These thousands of left there. So the league has a portion of the must not be background what's happening.
Right. We're definitely going to be getting his connectivity as right. He's all the way in Kigali in Rwanda, just giving us an overview of what is actually happening in that particular country, Democratic Republic of Congo, particularly in Goma. He is Maina Kingori, Regional Humanitarian Director of the same. And we're going to be having more of that later on. Meanwhile, President William Ruto is on a 2-day state visit to Egypt, where he will engage in a high-level discussion on matters regional development and cooperation. The talks will also touch on various issues, including diplomatic relations, trade and investment between the two countries. They will also witness the signing of at least 12 agreements and later address a press conference. The president is accompanied by former Premier Raila Odinga, who is on the campaign trail for the AUC elections next month, as well as Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi and a host of leaders.
Upon arrival at the Egypt presidency headquarters for a 2-day state visit, the head of state was welcomed by his counterpart, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Among the key agendas President William Ruto is pushing include call to support former Premier Raila Odinga's AUC bid to become the next commission's chairperson. Ruto says electing Raila will help restructure the commission to bring a positive change to member countries.
And Kenya's nomination of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga as its candidate for the chairperson of Africa Union Commission, and continue to seek the collaboration and partnership as we have done in the past for support of our candidates. Further, we discussed the need for urgent reforms within the Africa Union to make its structures more efficient and fit for purpose. And as a champion of Africa reform of our institution, its agencies and organs.
Other key agendas in Ruto's diary is the issue of strengthening the bilateral relationship between the two countries, addressing insecurity, regional development, and cooperation. President Ruto's visit to Cairo is being closely watched as the security situation in the region continues to deteriorate, with the escalating conflicts in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan, among other countries.
A two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and remains committed to the UN Security Council Resolution 2728 of last year, which calls for an immediate an unconditional ceasefire. We also discussed Egypt's steadfast support for peace efforts in Somalia under the Africa Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, as well as its role in mediation efforts in Sudan and South Sudan.
The president was scheduled to fly to Egypt in the year 2024. However, due to the protest that escalated in the country, he had to push it to 2025. The head of state was accompanied by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, among other leaders. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Right, thank you for that, Paul. Now, Cabinet Secretary for Mining and Blue Economy, Ali Hassan Joho, has raised concerns over the increasing insecurity cases to fishermen in Lake Victoria, calling a framework to resolve ongoing attacks by Ugandan authorities. He also warned foreign and large-scale mining companies against encroaching on artisanal mining sites in the Nyanza region. Joho further expressing concern over illegal mining activities by large-scale miners and demanding an immediate halt to such practices, while at the same time warning that the government will not allow intimidation of artisanal miners and that proper procedures must be followed before any mining licenses are granted. Joho spoke during his visit to Wish Luma Beach in Bondo sub-county.
We have issues with Uganda, and we must resolve them. So we need to develop a framework. I will take time and go there and see my counterpart, Ruto, because we need to solve it once and for all. Mining. And I want to tell my people here, there's a lot of illegal mining activities that happens in the Nyanza region. I have had a meeting with the regional police and the county commanders and others. Nimesema watu wetu wale wanaitwa artisanal miners wasiwahi guzwa, wasisumbuliwe na wasaidiwe kusonga maisha mbele. Lakini wale wakora ambao wanakuja hapa na mashine kubwa kubwa wanaingia kichaka na
Sports News brought to you by Maybets.
Right, time to get sporty. 9 stadiums are ready to host the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco next December. The North Africa nation is also preparing to co-host the 2030 World Cup, and they are constructing a 115,000 capacity stadium. Kenya is co-hosting the African Nations Championship in August, and AFCON 2017 and AFCON 2027, I should say, and major fields are closed for renovations. Our sports reporter highlights the 9 facilities which will host the 24 teams during the continental extravaganza.
More than 9 years later, Kenya is still waiting for 9 stadiums promised by the then administration. And as we wait for the 9 sports facilities, Morocco has 9 ready-to-use stadiums for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in December. This is the first time in the history of AFCON for the venues to be expanded to 9. This stadium has a rich history of hosting high-profile events, including the 2022 and 2014 FIFA Club World Cups and the 1988 AFCON. It is expected to host the opening match, a quarter-final, a semi-final and the grand final. It will also serve as a host venue for the 2030 FIFA World Cup. With a capacity of over 18,000, this modern sports venue will be home to the round of 16 matches. It is among the 3 new complexes built for the smooth running of the tournament, where the third-place playoff match will be staged. This is one of the modern sports venue in Rabat and will host group stage matches and knockout stage fixtures. Located at the heart of Casablanca, it is Morocco's oldest football stadium, which set an attendance record of 110,000 in 1997 and 2004 during a match between Morocco and Argentina. It also serves as the home ground for the Atlas Lions. Inaugurated in 2013, it is one of Morocco's premier sports arenas, which will host one of the quarter-final matches. The Marrakesh Stadium hosted the FIFA Club World Cup final on 2 occasions in 2013 and 2014. The football venue has a unique design comprising of thick walls and towering structures. The Fez Sports Complex accommodates both football matches and athletics events, and it was built in 2003. Named after the renowned Moroccan scholar and explorer Ibn Battuta, it is a multi-purpose stadium. It also hosts high-profile events, having staged the 2022 FIFA Club World Cup. By August 2025, Kenya will have 2 stadiums for CHAN 2024, while Morocco will be constructing one of the biggest venues in Africa ahead of co-hosting the 2030 FIFA World Cup. Tony Kwalanda, TV47 Sport.
Football Kenya Federation Premier League top scorer and Harambee Stars forward Rhino Gum has been named the LG and Sports Journalists Association of Kenya Sports Personality of the Month for December 2024. Now, the 20-year-old striker, who in his debut season in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League with Tusker FC has taken the league by storm, leading the goal-scoring charts with 15 goals. His incredible form saw him net 6 times in December, helping Tusker FC climb to second place in the 18-team league.
Nasema ni moral kwangu, at least naona kuna watu wana acknowledge wa Kenya na Putin, so inanitel nafaa kuendelea ku put in the work, then reward itakuja tu. So ni moral kwangu na ni moral pia kwa wachezaji wote, so na feel there's more to do.
Hii na nashukuru LG na SJack kwa tuzo hili. Ni jambo la kusisimua kwa sababu ni kitambo pia tuone jambo kama hili kwa muda. Lakini yote 9 tunasema kwamba Rhino Gum ni mchezaji ambaye ni chipukizi, amejitokeza na ameonyesha uwezo wa kufunga magoli, na tunazidi kumwombea mkondo huu wa pili pia aendelee na ile kazi ambayo alikuwa ameanza. Kwa hivyo tunashukuru kama Tusker familia.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Right, time for a short break. I can see on our SMSs about 2047, Farah from Isili. I'm eagerly awaiting for the Forex trading conversation. Yes, we're going to be teaching you and giving you a whole class of the same after this short break. Quite a number of people say Forex is a scam, but is it really a scam? Esther Murithi, you may know her as Mofrey, will be joining us for that, just to understand the basics of this whole world of Forex trading. Don't go too far. Rhoda Nyama and I will be back.
you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, We're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Just a minute past 10 p.m. East African time, you're watching the Daily Report. This is the marketplace, the one place that you definitely sure would be giving you insights about making sure that that little money that you have somewhere, you can always double it up. We're going to be having these practical sessions just for you so that you can understand. Tonight, we tackle quite a conversation about Forex trading, particularly in Kenya. You may have heard this and you may have brushed it off saying it's scam. Well, you may have also, done it and you have your own experience. And we'd love to know your experience on the same. And tonight, we're joined by Esther Murithi. She is a Forex trader as well as a trainer. You probably know her as Mofre. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
First of, before we continue, who is Mofre?
So Esther Mofre is a born-again Christian.
Okay.
Above all, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and I love Forex. That's what I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Where did this journey of Forex start?
So it began back in 2020, the time of COVID. And you remember everyone was in lockdown,
Yes.
no movement, nothing. So that is the time that I decided to go on YouTube and try a skill that I can make money in the house. So 5 years down the line.
5 years down the line.
Yes.
And as much as Mofre is what people call you,
Yes.
tonight I'm calling you Mwalimu because we have, this is your pen.
Yes.
This is our notepad
Yes.
that you're going to be having so that you can also, outline everything that you need here.
Exactly.
On WhatsApp, 0793 267 279 is a WhatsApp number. Throw in all those questions that you have for Mofre, 0795 045 864. Write that number down right now because you definitely need it. As you continue, call in live should be answering your questions as you continue. 22047 is our SMS number. Mwalimu, before we start,
Yes.
first off, what is Forex?
So
and Forex trading?
Forex so simply is the exchange of foreign currency from one currency to another currency.
Okay.
I know many people don't know, but Forex is two names. There's the FOR and there's the EX.
Yes.
So there's the foreign and the exchange.
Okay.
So simply we are exchanging one currency to another currency. So for instance, someone may think like M-Pesa, the way you go to M-Pesa is Forex. That's not Forex because you are taking Kenya shillings and being exchanged by Kenya shillings. But if you go to a bank and you want dollars, you want euro, you want pound, so bank, they can do Forex for you.
All right.
Yeah, so Forex simply, in simple terms, is foreign exchange of one currency to another currency. So if you have Kenya shillings and I have Kenya shillings, we are not doing Forex. That's not
Has to
Forex.
be different.
It has to be different. So the time you have dollars and I have Kenya shillings, we exchange, now that is Forex.
Right.
Yeah,
So even as you continue, you're going to be seeing on one side of our screen, just having those that particular chart, you'd be seeing that. But then you're going to be, now what you're going to be doing here is showcasing us for that. But before this, you talk about currencies.
Yes.
So people, wondering, you've mentioned a number of currencies that people definitely know.
Exactly.
Like dollars, someone would know dollars, are from this particular place. Euros from Europe. Could you tell us now the kind of currencies that are there, as well as which ones are more common?
So in the Forex market, we have 7 major currencies from Euro, Pound, JPY, CHF, I mentioned a few, but the most traded is USD, Euro, and the Pound.
Right.
Those are the most traded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Is there a particular reason for that?
I feel it's because of the first world, because of course because US dollar is in America, pound is in UK, and the euro is in Europe. So of course you can't compare Kenya shillings and Indian rupee. Okay, I'm not like hating, but of course you can't compare these small currencies to the big currencies that have been there for years and years and years. So people love to trade USD, Euro, and Pound because number one, there's trust, and it has been there for years.
Right.
Yes.
Right. When you've definitely heard of the word luck.
Yes.
And this being used alongside Forex trading.
Yeah.
Is it always about luck, or do you need a special skill to know when I put my money here? And you'll also be telling us how much do you invest?
No, it's not about luck. Forex is just like any other business.
Okay.
And I feel that's the problem where people go wrong in the first place, thinking it's a get rich quick.
Okay.
It's just a business like any other business. So you have to make a decision, number one, and then you have to be ready to go in the process. So there's the skill to be acquired. And some people are lucky how they can spend less time, like a year, and others can spend 5 years. So when you talk of luck, maybe the time frame of understanding and getting and acquiring the skill. But when you speak of luck in making money, you have to put the input.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, 0795-045-864 is the number to call us live. Ask us all those questions that you have, even as Mwalimu starts. So this being our masterclass tonight, I am a beginner of Forex, and so are many of our viewers tonight.
Sure.
What is the first thing that we need to know about this Forex?
So like I've said, the first thing is to understand what is Forex, and I've said it's two names. So you are not exchanging the same currency, you're exchanging different currency.
Yes.
The second thing is to understand that we have 7 major currencies that I mentioned, but we do not trade a currency by itself. That's why we trade 2. So when we say 2, we call it a pair.
Okay.
So this is what we trade in the Forex market. We don't trade a single. We don't just trade, oh, today I'm trading USD. No, we don't trade this. We trade a pair.
Okay.
So if today I am trading GBP, this is the pound. If today I'm trading GBP, I will trade it against USD.
This is the Great Britain pound.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we don't trade single because if you trade single is exchange of the same currency. So you must have a different currency. So that is the first thing that we explain to a beginner. The first thing is to trade, you are trading a pair, GBP USD. So, and when we come to pairs, we said the GBP USD and Euro are the most traded currencies, but when it comes to pairs now, we are pairing is GBP USD, we have the Euro, and you will tell me what is common, even as you are a beginner, and then we have the AUD USD. What do you think is common in the 3?
The 3. I'd say the first one, GBP.
No, what is common in the 3?
Oh, the USD.
You are my
the
student,
USD,
remember?
USD. Okay.
What is common?
The USD is common in all.
Exactly. So because USD is the common, we don't just say USD. The first currency as we group, it's always a base. This is a base.
Okay.
And this is a quote. So you should have answered what is common.
So
it has the same quote.
Okay.
Yeah, not USD, because tomorrow I will pair Euro versus JPY. You see now the USD will vanish.
Yes, yes.
So you don't say USD, you just say the quote.
The quote is...
Yes.
Okay.
So we have 2 things. We have the base and we have the quote. So the reason why we group like this is because of when it comes to trading. By the way, there's something I tell people, you can trade by knowing what base does and what quote does.
Okay.
So if the base is strong, you see this one?
Yes.
If it is strong, and this is a secret, many people don't know, if the base is strong, the market will buy.
Okay.
When you come here, if the quote is strong, it will do what? Guess? Just guess. There's no wrong answers.
If it is okay, so if it is strong, then
it's the opposite.
Okay.
It will sell.
It will sell. Okay. Oh, so buying and selling, now that makes sense.
Exactly.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
So, and before we continue, because hapa tuna pole so that people can really understand. What do you mean by strong?
I mean, okay, so there is the value in the Forex market and there is the strength. We don't trade value, we trade strength.
All right.
So when I explain strong, the strength, I have first to explain value.
Okay.
So when it comes to value, value is fixed.
Right.
For instance, if I'm comparing USD with our Kenya shillings, many people now will know about the value because the exchange rate is about 1:2, either 129 or 130. Now, definitely, that one you will understand what I am saying about the value. But when you come to strength, some people are still trading USD case and they are making money because the strength of a currency keeps changing. It keeps evaluating, as in it keeps changing every second. But the value, it is fixed. It takes time. So when I talk of strength are the things that make a currency either change today, change in the next minute. For instance, political, health, calamities. So those things makes today USD strong, tomorrow it's not. So when I speak of if the base is strong, I can buy GBP USD today because pound is strong today, and then tomorrow I sell GBP USD because USD is strong tomorrow.
Right.
So we don't trade value. So if we trade value, we can't trade.
So that means as a trader, you definitely need to know what is happening globally.
Exactly.
And see if right now Britain something has happened and your leader has been chosen, you know, something, the market will again change.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Another thing that I can add is that we have two types of trading. We have the technical analysis and then we have the fundamental analysis. So for the technical analysis is when you have the charts. I hope we will have that chance of seeing the charts, the graph, the candles. That is technical analysis. For the fundamental analysis is when you're trading the news. For instance, when we knew America had election and we were maybe to speculate this one will win. So if this one win, the USD had so much power.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the first page.
Exactly.
Just you can add on the plus sign there. On the plus sign, yes, you can add a second page. We'll begin to already page 1 so that our students don't now pole pole. So for page 2, you mentioned the graphs, which we'll be getting. We're preparing them, the whole charts of them. But then before we get to the analysis of this charts, so help us with the charts because you have the red slide as well as the green, so that we understand when we see a chart.
What are you expecting?
What are we even looking at, really?
Yeah, so for the charts, you see, what we did, it's introduction, which is very, 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 very important.
Unit 1.
Exactly, module 1.
Yes.
So for module 2, we introduced that there are 2 players in the market. We have 2 players, not 3.
2 players.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we have the buyers, and that's why I was not mentioning the buyers, and then we have the sellers. So these are the players in the market, and there is a 50% of you winning every time in Forex, 50%, because it's either you are buying or you are selling. So for buyers, the representation of buyers in our charts, the defaulted color, because many people come, they can change, is green. And the representation of sell in our chart is red. So don't be confused when we get to the charts.
Okay.
Don't be confused. So green is for buyers, red is for sellers, okay?
Okay.
So green, when the market, another name for green, we can say the market is uptrend. And here we can say the market is downtrend.
All right.
So I can illustrate.
Yes. Just a plus, yes.
So uptrend, and you will try uptrend. So who is in control in this uptrend?
The red represents?
No, it's not about red. It's the trend.
The trend.
Yeah. So here you can do a different.
For green.
Exactly. Let me just do different so that you don't confuse red and green. So here, I'm just doing a trend. This is a trend. I have taught you what the trend means. It's not about the color, it's the trend. Come back to class. The trend is up.
Yes.
Is it going up?
Yes, it is.
So who is in control?
Is it the buyer?
Exactly, you are right. Perfect. So buyers are in control. So if I do the trend, is it going down?
Yes.
Do you think it's going down? It's going down.
Yes.
You have to train your eyes. It's going down. Yes. So who is in control?
The seller?
Sellers. So remember base and quote. So if this trend is going up, who is in control? Base and quote.
Base and quote. Where?
We said if base is strong, we buy. So buying means market is going up. So base here is strong.
Yes.
So if I was trading GBP USD, this is my pair, and I find a trend like this, I would likely buy because base is strong.
Okay.
If I find my chart like this, I would likely sell because quote is the one that is strong on this trend.
Right, right.
With time, you will get something.
I see. Nimeanza kushikanisha, nimeanza kuiona.
Yeah. So this is the basic. In fact, this is the basic level of understanding the charts. And the next thing that I can introduce someone who is a beginner, we have 3 tools of trade. So let me have a new page.
Yes.
We have 3 tools of trade. Can you guess?
3 tools of trade.
Yeah, tools of trade. Like this, any Forex trader, you take their phone, they won't lack any of these tools. 3 tools of trade. Just guess. And don't say M-Pesa.
Wow. Leo mwalimu umeamua, you put me on the spotlight here.
Exactly. 3 tools of trade.
3 tools of trade. Do they have anything to do with online transfer of money?
What the tools of trade, the tools that helps us to trade, let me just help you. Number 1, you need a broker.
Okay.
Do you know the work of the broker? The work of the broker is to do what? He gives you access. He's the one who gives you permission to go to the live market.
Okay.
Because where are you going to the live market? Who will you say sent you there? You see the way we transact via M-Pesa? Who has authorized you? Safaricom.
Okay. Also, at this point, that particular company is the broker. Okay.
So we have different types of brokers, international, local. It's you to choose.
Okay.
And the way I can help beginners, if you want to choose a good broker, we look at how you are transacting from funding and withdrawing.
Right.
So do I fund, if I'm in Kenya, will I fund with M-Pesa? That's a tick for me because it's easier. Will I withdraw with the M-Pesa? Of course, it's an added plus. Another thing, it has to be regulated. You don't want a broker who will go with your money. You see, that's a key point.
Yes, it is.
So broker gives you what? Access to the market.
Right.
So if you want to trade Forex today and you don't have a broker, you're joking.
Okay.
It's like you want to transact and you don't have Safaricom number.
Okay. I get it. So broker is number 1. Number 2?
Number 2, we need the platform, MT4. So there are people who use MT4 and we have the MT5.
Okay.
So this is the platform where you can now be able to view the market. So for instance, if I have the permission from the broker, but I don't have the platform, what do you think will happen? Where will I place the trades? I need that platform to see GBP USD, to see live market, to see how markets are moving up and down. You see, that is so important.
Yes.
The MT4, MT5, it's called MetaTrader 4. It's like a software that you download. It's an app.
Okay.
You can download to your PC, to your phone. Perfect. Number 3,
yes.
How will you buy and sell? Where are you analyzing the market? Or you will be guessing and luck. So you need a website. We call it TradingView website. TradingView website. So many people use this TradingView website because it has everything. It has stocks, it has crypto, it has Forex, it has metals, it has everything. So if you're a metal trader, like you trade gold, you won't go to another place. For us, Forex traders, we are still there trading on TradingView. So TradingView is one of the best.
And
so these are the tools.
Yes, and even before we continue the tools of trade, that is one question that I've seen pop up here. Are you able to sell, buy and sell between a currency, let's say USD, as well as a metal?
Yeah, you can, and that is gold. You can trade gold versus USD.
Okay.
And I have seen majority of traders doing that, trading gold versus USD and silver versus USD.
Right.
But I know it is there, gold versus pound, gold versus other things, but the most popular is gold versus USD. And many people like it, more so traders, because it has a lot of money. The volatility is so big. So many people love trading gold. Why? Because it has quick money. So they love it.
Right.
Yeah.
So now the fact that someone has these tools of trade,
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, in case you're joining right now, Forex for beginner particularly, I as a beginner, maybe after this particular conversation, I might try and see if I'll be able to get into this. So after I have this,
yes.
Am I able to now look at a chart and be able to start understanding it?
So now you have the tools, you have an understanding what you're getting yourself into. I need to give you how will you place the trade? Let's say you have analyzed, how will you use the platform? Because imagine you don't know how to use the platform. So this is the MT4. So you need education to use the platform. Imagine you have bought a car and you don't know how to drive. So it will be a disaster. So using MT4, it's not hard, but I would highlight, it's just that we don't have a physical way of showing you, but the first thing you need to know how to place a trade on a MT4, place a trade, and close a trade.
Right. And the fact that you mentioned that, there's a question slightly related to what you're saying. Someone says, hey, I'm Steve from Naivasha. I'm asking what are the likely best strategies of trading FX? But now for this one, what you're talking about. Second, what is the best time to trade Forex? And how do you use different time to enter trade? Thanks.
Yeah, so for the time, you see, I answer that.
Yes, yes.
So for the times, we have four time sessions.
Okay.
The first one is London session, and then we have New York session. So the London session, if you're in Kenya, it's between 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you're trading pound, euro, that's the best time for you. It's like the way everyone is going to work, even you will go to work at that time.
So
when you're trading,
nisipigie mtu wa Forex between that time.
That's one. Also, euro traders and pound traders.
Okay.
When you come to the New York session, people who really trade USD, the New York session starts at 3 p.m. all the way to 8 p.m. So New York traders, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m., they are good to go.
Okay.
And then now we have the Sydney session for AUD pairs and NZD pairs, starts at 10 p.m. So if you work during the day, yes, if you work during the day, you can still trade at night because there is a volatility there.
Right, continue.
Yeah. So you need MT4, just know how to place a trade and close a trade, because if you don't know how to place a trade and close a trade, it will be a problem. So that is the last thing about the platform, the tools and everything. And I feel the other thing is to understand how to use now the TradingView website, because even that, the website, TradingView, this website has some tools in it, how to use horizontal lines, boxes, all those for your analysis. So this one, it's another thing. Once we have the TradingView, I can just highlight 2 or 3 things.
So later on, we'll be getting that.
Exactly.
The production team, they're working on that so that we can have the whole site. So that we would like to now understand how the charts look like. So even as you also open another page and have the different colors of the ink so that we have that. There's a question here. Good evening, TV47. I'm Bramwell from Nairobi. How much amount do I need to invest as a beginner?
So when it comes to invest, you see, it depends with the broker, and also it depends with the person. So there are brokers who take as low as $5, and there are brokers who, if you don't have $250, buy. I don't want to see you. And then there are people who, they have $5 to start with, others they have $1,000 to start with. So that question, it has no one answer. So it depends with the beginner the student who is coming to trade, and also the choice of the broker.
Right.
Yes.
So Bramwell, I hope you've got that. Help us with this chart here.
Yes.
You can draw for us how it basically looks like before now we get to see how the market is right now.
So I like showing this to everyone who I'm training. Of course, everyone have a TV in their house. And this TV has different stations. So we have different stations, and all those stations, they're in this one TV. The same way, this website has so many time frames. For instance, we have monthly time frame, we have weekly time frame, daily and 4-hour, and so forth and so forth. So these time frames, they give out candles, and I will start with this candle, like this. So this candle, it's me to choose which time frame I want it to be. If I choose it on 1 month, I will only see one candle in a month. That is it.
Okay.
We in a month of January, I can see 2 candles. If I choose one candle every day, I will have a Monday candle, a Tuesday candle, a Thursday candle. So there are people who say, I'm a day trader. They will come every day to check their candle. So this candle, you can see it is red. We call it bearish. So this is a bearish candle. And then we have another color, like I said, the green one.
Green one, okay.
So I have this green one, and this one is bullish.
Bearish and bullish, okay.
Yes. So you can say, I am very bearish on gold. I mean, I'm selling.
Okay.
I'm very bullish on gold. I mean, I'm buying.
I mean, I've had some of this lingo.
Yeah.
I realize this, my Forex trader friends just...
yeah. Hey, the market is bearish,
yes.
it
Okay.
is selling. The market is
I now
bullish.
get it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the market that is bearish, it means it has so many red candles, and the market that is bullish, it means it is going printing more green candles like that. And a market that is bearish means that it's printing more of red candles like this. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you open the chart and you see red, it means this market is selling.
Okay.
Sellers are in control.
Right.
So for the chart, that's what you need just to understand, that there is bearish candles and there is bullish candles. But another thing that is very important is that not all bearish candles are the same.
Right.
So I want to draw bearish candles,
Yes,
like
please.
5 of them,
Yes, please.
and then you try to tell me the difference. So we have this. This is the first one. And then I have this. And then I have this, and then I have this. All these are bearish candle, but are not the same. And they have names. So there are people who say, I had a question about strategies.
Yes.
There are people who use candles names as strategies. So all this is a momentum bearish candle. This is a hammer, this is a pin bar, this is a dragonfly, this is a spinning top.
This
is a bearish, it's just a momentum candle.
Okay.
Momentum. This one is a hammer. This one is a pin bar.
That will remember dragon something.
Yeah, dragonfly.
Dragonfly. Then
You know, even if I lie to you, you won't know. You will go and, hey, I saw dragonfly. And then spinning top.
Okay.
Yes. So they do, they have different kinds and information. It's like you have so many cars on the road, but when you see Mercedes,
right.
Hey, you know, it's expensive. Of course, when you see all these candles, they mean sell, but this one, you can enter with it sell.
Okay.
The rest, they mean different,
Right.
even if it's a sell.
There's some of these candles that you were talking about just behind you. Are they the same? I mean, what are we looking at on the same?
Exactly. So these candles, you can see some are printing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just first like this, and then you look at them, yeah?
Like this. So we can see The candle that is printing right now is a bearish candle.
Okay.
And I feel this is a 1 minute time frame because
Okay.
it's happening so quickly.
Okay, okay.
So the reason why it is happening that quickly is because of the choice of the time frame. If you can put at a different time frame, you will see it will take like 60 seconds before that candle forms. So there's
Okay.
that waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The couple of questions here. I know you can't really learn
Exactly.
Forex in 30 minutes. Just to sample about 3 or 4 questions, then you can give out your contact so that we can throw some of this more. Does the same principle apply when trading with stock at the Nairobi Security Exchange?
There's a?
Does the same principle apply when trading with stock at the Nairobi Security Exchange? This is Steven asking.
No, because you see, for stocks, there are people who don't use charts. They use speculation and they hold. You see, for Forex, is in and out. In and out. For stock, you will hold until maybe it appreciates to a certain amount.
Okay.
So you can't use the strategies on Forex to stocks. It will be, it won't work the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
So a final one here as we just wrap it up. Someone is saying, hello, I'm Frederick from Kakamega. What can you say about prop firms? Are they real for someone with capital issues?
So for me, I don't believe in pro farms. And it's because imagine you're a beginner and then you buy a pro farm of $10,000. So what are you doing with $10,000? Again, the amount, they are not free. The amount that you pay to buy the $10,000, why don't you fund and start at the bottom? So for me, I don't encourage pro farm.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
Yes.
So I want you to look at the camera in front of you. For someone, I know the questions are coming in. So probably a sentence or two to a beginner who would really love to join today, and they're wondering, do we even have enough money for this, as well as could give out your contact?
Yeah, so what I can tell anyone who is watching me right at this moment is that Forex is real and Forex can change your life. It takes only one step of you to just go either on YouTube and start from what I have shown you. So you just try it. Don't allow money to be the limitation of you not starting. And again, you will start today. You can even start with a demo account. There's something we call demo account.
Okay.
You can start with that if you don't have money. So if you want to follow more, I am on YouTube and I call myself Esther Mofri, and this is my contact. You've said Aisha. 0700 344 066. Let me repeat. 0700 344 066. Yes.
Right. Quite a number of questions coming in. The last one here, Charles Mackenzie. How much can one start with, please?
Yeah.
Said it doesn't.
As low as $5.
As low as $5.
And you have to know
shillings,
the broker. In Kenya shillings, like 700. 700, Bob.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Esther Murithi Mofri, a Forex trader as well as a trader. Thank you very much for all your questions and feedbacks. We'll be having more of that for Esther to continue having them here. This is your weekly dose of Matters Money, so that you can always understand, with the money that I have, how can I increase this particular money that I have. Santeni sana. Roda Nyamai has been on the Sun Language Docket. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyaringita. Thank you very much.
Welcome.